Good afternoon. I'm George Latimer, Westchester County Executive, and welcome to our Westchester Weekly Update. Today is Monday, November 6th, and we're very happy to be with you here today. We've got a very busy week ahead of us. Election Day is coming this week, and so is Veterans Day, and our update will touch on issues that relate to both what's on the ballot in tomorrow's elections, and then also looking forward to recognizing all of our veterans as Veterans Day plays out over the course of a number of days leading up to this Saturday, November 11th. We'll also touch on a couple of other issues of some importance that we hope you'll find interesting. I'll be joined in a minute or two by our Deputy County Executive, Ken Jenkins, and we have as our guest from one of our local governments today, the mayor of the village of Dobbs Ferry, Vincent Rosillo. Mayor Rosillo presides over the village board of a community of 11,000 people. It is one of the river towns that we often refer to along the Hudson River that go through the town of Greenburgh and a little bit into the town of Mount Pleasant. Every one of them, Hastings, Irvington, Tarrytown, Sleepy Hollow, Dobbs Ferry, are different in nature, but they all share a beautiful river, and they're very easily reachable one to the other because Route 9 Broadway traverses through all of those different communities. Mayor Rosillo has had the opportunity to lead the community over the last few years. He has an active village board. One of his village board members is a member of our executive team, village trustee Sherry Rosen Asher, who serves us in a program, director of program and policy area, but also serves on that village board. So we're very happy to have the mayor with us here today. He'll share whatever thoughts he'd like about Dobbs Ferry. Hopefully, Mr. Mayor, you'll tell us what restaurants we want to come to eat at. That is pretty much my baseline as I go through the county. Mayor Vincent Rosillo, Dobbs Ferry.
First, I'd like to thank County Executive Latimer and Deputy Executive Ken Jenkins for their support. They've always been responsive to the needs and concerns of our residents and business owners. They spent a lot of time walking our streets. In fact, I think I spent to the county executive a few weeks ago. I spent more time with him in the last few weeks than I have with my own wife. So, and him being the gentleman that he is, he said, I'm sure the time with your wife was much more better spent than with him. So thank you again to the county exec and to the deputy county exec for coming to our village, listening to our residents, supporting local business, and their support. The county has always been a key partner in helping to make Dobbs Ferry a better place to live and helping us to move forward. I am the proud mayor of a wonderful community, and I'm thrilled to share with you some exciting developments that have been taking place in our village. Dobbs Ferry has always been a place of natural beauty and community spirit. Our residents cherish their access to the scenic Hudson River and the strong sense of togetherness that defines our little corner of the county. But it's not just our picturesque surroundings that make Dobbs Ferry special. It's the collective effort of our community that have helped us grow and flourish. Our community is built on a foundation of strong values and a deep sense of pride in our history. It's the sense of belonging that truly sets us apart. Our vibrant downtown has long been the heart and soul of our village. With its unique boutiques, family-owned restaurants, and welcoming atmosphere, it's become a hub for residents and visitors alike. It seems that every month we're opening up a new business in our downtown. And with their opening, they've brought with us jobs, opportunities, excitement, and a true vibrancy to our village. And if you haven't already done so, I encourage you to come to our downtown to visit and eat. To help our downtown succeed, we have recently finished a downtown sidewalk improvement project to make it even more pedestrian-friendly and accessible. These enhancements not only make it easier for everyone to navigate our downtown, but also to add to the aesthetics of our streets, ensuring that our village remains a charming and inviting place. In addition, thanks to the county, we have secured a grant to study further improvements to our downtown area. This grant will help us explore new ways to enhance our infrastructure, revitalize our public and private spaces, and make our village an even more attractive place to live and visit. We value the input of the experts that have already started working with us, and they are also actively seeking community engagement in this process, which ensures that our decisions are shaped by the needs and the desires of our residents and business owners. But we haven't stopped there. One of our most significant projects, one that we just broke ground on, is the transformation of Gould Park into what I believe will be the gem of local municipal government's parks in the county. This park, which is nestled in the heart of our village, is a treasure we hold dear. Along with our new pool, this project will provide new amenities and recreation opportunities to our families and visitors. Dobbs Ferry is more than a place. It's a community of individuals who care deeply about the well-being of their neighbors and the future of the village. With the recent additions to our downtown area, plans for further enhancements, and the exciting transformation of Gould Park, we are ensuring that Dobbs Ferry remains a vibrant, welcoming, and beautiful place to call home. And I look forward to continuing our journey together with the growth and development of the village. And I once again invite everyone to visit, shop, and especially eat in Dobbs Ferry. So thank you for giving me the time, and I appreciate it.
Thanks very much.
Okay.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. That's the mayor of the village of Dobbs Ferry, Vincent Rosillo, and we're very happy to take him up on the offer. The River Towns Chamber of Commerce, which includes Dobbs Ferry and some of the other communities, have been highlighting some of those restaurants that he spoke of, and we certainly encourage you with every speaker that comes in each week from a different part of Westchester County. Gives you a sense of just how vast the options are, not just for dining, but also other activities, art galleries, things, special street fairs and things of that nature that really make each of these communities come alive. So we're very happy to have Vincent with us. So I'm going to ask Ken to join me. We're going to cover, since tomorrow's election day, a little bit about what's on the ballot, so you know. We'll do this in a neutral way. We're not looking to promote any particular candidacy. We did have early voting. We covered that the last 2 weeks. Early voting has now come to conclusion. If you have voted early up through and including yesterday, your vote counts. You do not need to vote on Election Day. Today, Monday, November 6th, there is no early voting in any location, but tomorrow the polls open at 6 a.m. and they go to 9 p.m. I want to start with an explanation of two ballot propositions that are on the ballot, on the back side of the ballot, which people will miss if they're not aware of it. So Ken, give us an update of what's on the ballot.
Thanks, George. So we had a thing last year when we did the Environmental Bond Act. The county executive and our environmental community partners led this tremendous effort as far as the Environmental Bond Act, and we did flip it over. Well, this time we didn't have the same kind of initiative because the two ballot initiatives that are on the back are very specific to some financial things that are necessary. You may have additional ballot propositions in your local community, but the two statewide initiatives have to do with financing. The first one has to do with financing for small school districts. So it lists the cap on small school districts. Now, if you live in a place like me in Yonkers versus a city like Rye, like the county executive, the difference in our school districts and the things that they can borrow for, whether that's for classrooms, whether that's for expansion and modernization of fields and other technology, well, those small school districts have a cap. So that ballot initiative is in front of you for consideration. The thing is to make sure that you get that information, but it is important for the local communities so that they're not prevented from being able to make the investments that are necessary in order to make sure the school district moves forward. You still would have to vote on those in those districts where you vote on your local school board and your local school board budgets, but it will give an opportunity that it's not piercing a cap and it is not going to be counted as far as the debt limit for the 2% cap around New York State. The second ballot initiative is something in our wastewater recovery facilities. It's a 10-year renewal of an exemption to make sure that anything that's invested as far as capital in our sewer districts does not count towards a bond cap. So in Yonkers, our largest wastewater recovery facility has about $150 to $170 million worth of investment that we do. And that's just to make sure that we're taking care of everything as positively as possible, trying to listen to the concerns of the communities and treating the effluent as humanely and smartly as possible. That requires a lot of money in all of our 7 wastewater recovery facilities. So again, this ballot initiative is in front of folks this year. That's 1. And 2, on the back side of the ballot, and as the county executive says, make sure you turn it over because you could miss those, but they are very important for our local well-being as far as finances are concerned. Back to you, George.
Thanks, Ken. So knowing that you have to turn the ballot over to do the propositions, let's go through a lineup of what's on the ballot that you'll see on the front side of the ballot and the different positions that are up for election this year. The first set of names that you'll see are for Supreme Court Justice of the 9th Judicial District. That is the highest level of court that is regional in nature until you go to the courts at the statewide level. Each of these Supreme Court justices are elected in a 5-county region. So people who will vote on these will be in Westchester and as well Rockland, Putnam, Dutchess, and Orange counties. There are 8 candidates for 4 seats. The candidates who are running on this Democratic ticket, Francesca Connolly, Charlie Wood, Ralph Thorson, and Larry Schwartz. On the Republican side, John Sarcone, Karen Ostberg, Susan Sullivan Bisceglia, and John Ciampoli. And you can vote for any 4 of those 8 individuals. The next line that you'll see, countywide in Westchester County, all ballots wherever you live, is a vote for county court judge. And you'll get to cast 1 vote. There are 2 candidates, Ann Bianchi, the Democrat, and Stephen Dewey, the Republican. And you get 1 vote in that for 1 individual. Then after that, you will see regionally, depending on where you live in the county, a Westchester County legislator. There are 17 of them. Ken and I have both served in the county legislature previously, and some of those districts represent a part of one community. Some of them represent parts of multiple communities. It depends on the size and the scope of them. One district is fully Mount Vernon, and an adjacent district is Mount Vernon Yonkers. There are at least 2 districts, if not 3, that are fully within the city of Yonkers, and then some have multiple lines. You may not know the district's geography. I'll try to give you a little bit of that so you know what the choices are. The first district is Peekskill, Cortland. It includes a little bit of Ossining, I believe. Colin Smith, the Democrat, Joe Torres, the Republican. District 2, there's unopposed candidate. That's the northeastern corner of the county: Bedford, Mount Kisco, North Salem, Lewisboro, Pound Ridge, a piece of Somers. Erica Lang Pierce is on the ballot as a Democrat. In the 3rd district, which is a middle band across the lower part of northern Westchester, Margaret Kunzio is running on the Conservative and the Republican lines. She is unopposed, and that is the town of Mount Pleasant with villages, Pleasantville part of that, and then also the town of North Castle, which includes hamlets like Armonk, Banksville, and North White Plains. The 4th district is in the northern part of Westchester County, the north central part. It has parts of Yorktown, parts of Somers, and all of the town of Newcastle. Vedat Gashi is the Democrat. Daniel Brenda is the Republican. District 5, centered in White Plains, includes the city of White Plains, not all of it, but most of it, all of the village of Scarsdale, and then a section of the town of Harrison. Ben Boykin is the Democrat candidate running unopposed. In the 6th district, which is the village of Portchester, the village of Rybrook, and a significant portion of Harrison, Nancy Barr, the Democrat, is running, and she is running unopposed. The 7th district, which is along the Sound Church, one I represented years ago, includes all of the city of Rye, all of the village of Larchmont, village of Mamaroneck, the town of Mamaroneck, and a section of Harrison. Catherine Parker is the Democrat, and Katie Manger is the Republican running in that district. In the 8th district, which is centered on northern Greenburgh, it includes village of Elmsford, includes the Fairview section, also Tarrytown and Sleepy Hollow. Jewel Johnson is the Democratic candidate. There is no Republican candidate in that race. The 9th district is pivoted around Ossining, village of Croton-on-Hudson. It also extends up to the village of Buchanan and the hamlet of Verplank. This is an open seat. Emiliana Ulaj is the Democrat, and Lori Abate Ryan is the Republican competing and for that seat. District 10 is in the southern part of the county. It represents the north end of New Rochelle and the town of Eastchester, absent the village of Bronxville. So it's the village of Tuckahoe, the unincorporated section of Eastchester, and a large swath of northern New Rochelle. Judah Holstein is the Democrat. Beth Acasella is the Republican. The 11th district is the rest of New Rochelle and all of the town of Pelham, including the 2 villages of Pelham, Village of Pelham Manor. That is Terry Clemens, the Democrat, and John Hines is the Republican. The 12th legislative district is the southern part of Greenburgh, including some of the river towns, Hastings, Dobbs Ferry, Irvington, Ardsley. It includes the Edgemont section of Greenburgh, and this is represented by David Imamura, and he is unopposed in his election. The 13th district is a section of Mount Vernon, wholly within Mount Vernon. It is not all of the city of Mount Vernon, but the largest portion of it, and that is represented by Tyree Woodson Samuels, a Democrat who is running unopposed. The 14th district of the legislature is the eastern half of Yonkers, the southeastern half of Yonkers, McLean Avenue, up Bronx River Road, up to where the Cross County Parkway cuts across from Yonkers, and it goes into the west side of Mount Vernon, a section of the north side of Mount Vernon. David Tubiolo is the Democrat running in that seat, and he's running unopposed. The 15th district is the northern and northeastern portions of the city of Yonkers and the village of Bronxville. Ruth Walter, the Democrat, is running. James Nolan, the Republican, is running in that district. The 16th district of Yonkers, that's one Ken knows very well, having represented it, represents a large section of the city of Yonkers, a big portion of the west side, but it goes a little further east than just the coastal part of it. Shanae Williams is the Democrat, Debbie Kozak is the Republican. And then the final district, the 17th district, is the southwest corner of Yonkers, going right down to the Bronx border. Jose Alvarado is the Democrat, and Jose Diaz is the Republican. You will look for the district that represents your area. You certainly read up on the candidates. You have time overnight. Every one of them has a website. If you go to westchestergov.com, look up Board of Elections, you'll see a list of all the candidates running for office. And with that information, if you're diligent, you can find out whatever you need to know between now and tomorrow morning when the polls open at 6 o'clock. I'm not going to go to every name of all the other candidates that are running, but let me just mention some of the other competitive races that are happening. Depending on where you live, you can focus on some of them. There are races for city court judge in Yonkers, a competitive race for 2 seats of the city court. There is a candidate, 1 seat available for the city court in the city of Mount Vernon. The mayor of Croton-on-Hudson is on the ballot. There's a competitive race for the mayor of the village of Tuckahoe. We have Ardsley mayor on the ballot, unopposed. We have a competitive race for the mayor of Dobbs Ferry on the ballot. We have Hastings-on-Hudson, a mayoralty, and one in Irvington as well. We have a competitive race in Tarrytown for the mayor of that village, a competitive race for the village of Mamaroneck mayoralty. We have a competitive race in the village of Mount Kisco. In Pelham, 1 candidate running unopposed for the village of Pelham mayoralty. In Mount Vernon, the mayor of Mount Vernon is running unopposed. In New Rochelle, a competitive race between 2 candidates for the citywide mayoralty of New Rochelle. There is an unopposed race in Peekskill for the mayor and a competitive race in Yonkers for the mayor of Yonkers. Town supervisor seats are up every 2 years with one exception in Westchester County, and we have competitive races for town supervisor in Cortland. We have a competitive race in Harrison, competitive race in Lewisboro, one in Mount Pleasant. We have a competitive race in North Castle, competitive race in Pound Ridge, one in the town of Rye, and a competitive race in Yorktown. And the competitive means that there's more than 1 candidate on the ballot. In the other towns where they have supervisor races, there's only 1 candidate. They're running uncontested. We have numerous council seats available around Westchester County. New Rochelle and Yonkers are the only 2 communities that have districted council members. In every other community, village, town, or city, you run for council at large through the whole community. So you need to know your location in the city of New Rochelle to determine which of the council districts. They're all up at the same time in New Rochelle. Not so in Yonkers. They have a cycling of 3 seats up in alternate cycles. But there are competitive races for the city council in New Rochelle, and we have 3 races in Yonkers that are district related. And then lots of district races, lots of council races for towns and the cities outside of that. Too many to mention. This is a long ballot. When you look at the choices, but in any time you have 2 seats available, you can vote for any 2 names on the ballot. You can vote for 2 names that are side by side or 2 names that are one above the other when your choice is 2 or 3 or 4 individuals. It's a little complicated. You voted before, so this shouldn't be anything new to you, but we want you to make sure that you know that you have to do some more homework. The responsibilities of citizenship go along with the rights of citizenship, and one of those responsibilities is to pick the leaders so that when those of us do serve in public office, we serve with some public mandate, and we can go forward and lead in a direction knowing that the voters have selected us to do this, and that requires you, the voter, to use that right to vote. And as much as people look at politics in a negative light, we're both familiar with it, we hear it all the time, these are still the people who will be making decisions for these villages, towns, and cities, like it or not. When people talk about their tax bills, they say, my taxes are high, I want to do something about my taxes. taxes. Well, who you send to Congress isn't going to affect your tax bill, your property tax bill. Your property tax bill is going to be affected primarily by your school board and then secondarily by your county and your municipal officials. This is that election for the county and for the city, town, and village officials that will make some of those decisions. So with all of that, it's a big day coming up tomorrow. For those of us who are involved in government, we hope you'll do your best in the situation, and hopefully that will be counted quickly. Tuesday night, Wednesday, there may be some competitive races. They may have to count absentee ballots. All of the early voting votes will be counted, and then we'll find out who serves in these positions. And then we go forward. Whatever our party affiliation is, we still have an obligation to work together and to try to work forward for the community that we represent, and work through our different disagreements and our ideologies to try to accomplish something as best as we see fit. So that's Election Day. Next big day coming up a couple of days after that is Veterans Day. There's an initiative on Patriot Housing that I want Ken to cover, if he would.
Thanks, George. So in honor of Veterans Day, we're highlighting the continued success of the county's Patriot Housing Initiative. This is a program that helps to keep veterans from experiencing homelessness here in Westchester County. We established this in 2013, and it's been made up of public and private agencies serving Westchester's veterans. The Patriot Housing Program seeks to end homelessness among our county's veterans and break down barriers to get veterans into permanent housing as quickly as possible. On Veterans Day, when we prepare to celebrate and honor those who have served our nation, we are continually reminded of our freedoms and those who have suffered, so we may enjoy those freedoms every day. The Patriot Housing Program has housed nearly 1,000 veterans since its inception, which is a proud moment for our county. The Patriot Housing members meet weekly to problem solve on behalf of every veteran experiencing homelessness here in Westchester County. If a veteran does become homeless, Westchester County aims to house them permanently within 30 days. This is an excellent program. Again, we are so proud to be able to support our veterans, and we need to make sure that we are thanking and supporting them every day. Back to you, George.
Thank you, Ken. And that program, we want to thank once again Ron Tochi, who serves as head of our Veteran Services for the county, for his work on that. Let me also mention that Veterans Day is coming. It was traditionally celebrated as a remembrance of the armistice to the First World War, when that fighting ceased. It's noted on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, which would be 11 a.m. on November 11th. That falls on a Saturday this year. The federal holiday, where you have off from work and the banks are closed, will be Friday the 10th. But most of the ceremonies that will occur in the municipalities on Saturday, November 11th, and there's a long list of them. I know in my own backyard, Rise City has theirs on the Village Green at 10:30. Mamaroneck has theirs at 11 o'clock. Greenberg has one in the Hartsdale DeSantis Plaza at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And wherever you may live, it would be a welcome thing for you to go to honor all of our veterans. Memorial Day honors those who made the ultimate sacrifice as veterans. But Veterans Day is for everybody who's put on the uniform of our nation. And we have men as well as women that have served us, and we go to thank all of them on Veterans Day. Now, Westchester County will honor our service members at our annual Veterans Day ceremony, but we're doing it in 2 days, on Wednesday, November 8th. That's going to be at 2 o'clock at the Lasden Park. It's the Arboretum and our Veterans Memorial. That's where we also celebrate our Memorial Day service, located in the hamlet of Katona in the town of Somers, right on Route 35, which connects downtown Yorktown, 684, and a host of other roads. You can get there from the Taconic. There's an exit for Route 35 as well. We're having our program on Wednesday in order to not conflict with the local communities, where we know most of the local veterans will want to come out to their local Veterans Day ceremony. So the local ceremonies are on Saturday. We're having ours Wednesday, November 8th. You're welcome to attend at 2 p.m. We will be live casting it, and we'll have a number of speakers and a ceremony, not particularly long, but we think meaningful, to honor all of our veterans, and we're happy to be able to do that. Let's switch gears away from Veterans Day now. We recently cut the ribbon on a new playground for kids at the Coachman Family Shelter here in White Plains. There's a video that tells you a little bit more about that. growing up in Mount Vernon as I did, which is basketball is king in that particular community, the best street ball was always played at the 4th Street Playground. You'd see NBA players of the present and the future playing ball there. The point being that the kids who are growing up here are no different than the kids that we all used to be. And when we were kids, we needed to have a place to play sports, to socialize, and the things that you learn on a basketball court or in a playground are lessons you learn for the rest of your life. How do you work with other people? How do you deal with it when you win, and how do you deal with it when you lose? But it's important to know that all of us together, and whatever we do in government, we realize that the kids that live here are no different than the kids that live in any other part of Westchester County. They have to have the same opportunity to dream. They have to have the same opportunity for success. They have to have an educational opportunity. They have to have a socialization opportunity. And we want to know that the lives that they live will expand and be better and successful. And their moms and dads, whoever they have with them, will grow with them as their little lives become big adult lives. And in some small part, showing the respect to them is what this is about today.
This was a site in disrepair, and it's now a site of respite, a safe space for close to the 200 children that are here. What we see today is a wonderful new community resource ready to open. It's a revitalized space for active and passive recreation with a new playground. There's basketball court and benches for relaxation, as well as tree plantings. It's gratifying to see the tangible results of the projects we fund and we know that will improve the quality of life for this community.
The nearly 200 children who are living with their families at Westchester's largest family shelter now have a new basketball court. It's a new playground and family recreation area to help make their lives a little easier and a little more fun. The renovation project replaces old playground equipment for younger children with new, safer equipment. It also includes a renovated basketball court for the older children, trees for shade and privacy, and benches for families to spend time together. The Coachman is the largest family shelter in Westchester with units for up to 100 families. 189 children of all ages currently call the Coachman home. The new playground project also included drainage work in the play area, as well as new parking lots with EV charging stations for staff. It follows work in recent years at the facility on the roof, the plumbing, and the HVAC systems. So next, back to Ken to give us our usual weekly parks update of all the different parks events that we have coming.
Thanks, George. So coming up this Friday, so after we celebrate and recognize our veterans at Lasden Park and Arboretum up in Katona, we're going to have a fall photography session. So be sure to bring your camera to explore Lasden's fall landscape. Concepts such as composition, lighting, and exposure will be discussed as we talk about what makes a great image. All experience levels are welcome. Make sure that you register at the lasdenpark.org website, or you can call the number that's on the bottom of the screen. On Friday as well, and again, that was from 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. For the fall photography at Lasden Park. On Friday at Alfred B. Del Bello Muscoot Farm, right in Somers, right down the road a piece. Eat, drink, and decorate. That's from 6 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Folks 18 years and older can join Caitlin of CM Cookies for an evening of Muscoot mocktails and snacks while learning all the tips of how to decorate cookies. So again, you can register online at muscootfarm.org, and certainly it's an opportunity to eat, drink, and decorate from 6 to 8:30 on Friday, November 10th. Saturday, November 11th, on Veterans Day at Cranberry Lake Preserve here in White Plains, yoga at the Quarry with Yoga 6, and that's going to be from 9 right up until 11. So after your yoga, you can get over to the White Plains Veterans festivities. So you join staff from Yoga 6 and Cranberry Lake Preserve on a guided hike, followed by 30 minutes of yoga, meditation, and breathing. Registration is required, and that number is going to be on the screen as well at Cranberry Lake Preserve, 9 to 11 on Saturday at Cranberry Lake Preserve. Also at 10 to 11 at the Alfred B. Del Bello Muscoot Farm in Somers, animal interactions. You're going to go into one of Muscoot's enclosures where you will see, touch, and learn more about an animal, and that will also happen the following month on December 9th, and we'll remind you then. Again, muscootfarm.org, and you can take advantage of that program 10 to 11 at the Muscoot Farm in Somers. On Sunday, the 12th, at the Westchester County Center, back in effect for their first game, 3 to 6 p.m. The Westchester Knicks are going to be back in action at the county center again on Sunday the 12th from 3 to 6 p.m. You see those tickets online, and again you can go to countycenter.biz and you'll see the Westchester Knicks event. Back to you, George.
Thank you very much, Ken. We'll close out our report to remind you that in addition to Wednesday, when we're going to have our Veterans Day event at Lasden, on Thursday in the morning, we will have a press conference to release the 2024 operating budget, the proposed operating budget, which will be delivered to the Board of Legislators. You may recall a month ago, we delivered a capital budget to them. This completes the budget submissions. The operating budget will also be accompanied by special district budgets for the refuse district, our sewer districts, water districts, so they'll have the totality of what they need to make the assessment. The Westchester County budget process, I say this all the time, is a calendar year, fiscal year. So by having the budget by charter requirement by November 10th, they'll have it actually on November 9th, that will give them ample opportunity to complete their work and then resubmit it to us, passed by a majority of the Board of Legislators in time for us to sign it and have it into effect for January 1st. We look forward to the give and take ahead. I'm sure that what we submit will not be the final product. There's time for public input at various hearings. We'll let the legislature announce the time and place for those hearings. But we look forward to a cooperative process. And we work across the aisle. The members in both parties have the opportunity to suggest changes, and we try to absorb as much of that as we can. We'll let you know at that point in time what our tax rate will be in the major programs and levels of funding. We'll save all of that for Thursday, November 9th. I believe we're doing this at 10 or 11 in the morning. Whatever time it is, you'll see it publicized. And then at that point, we'll go forward with our normal work to complete this year and prepare for next year. I'm George Latimer, Westchester County Executive. Thank you for watching. Remember to vote tomorrow on Election Day if you haven't done it already. And remember to honor our veterans in upcoming Veterans Day ceremonies, either on Wednesday or on Saturday. Those are responsibilities that we have as citizens. I hope you'll make every opportunity to do that. Have a great day.